What is up? Welcome back to another live stream repair. Let's shoot our first repair link to watch. All right. The first one that we'll be looking at today is from Chris. We've got, if I'm not mistaken, no power here. Give it a quick look and see what it does for us. Yes, certainly no power, no nothing there. We got a couple of watts at the wall. So that looks like the usual dead diode. Let's get this apart, do our magic, do a little bit of maintenance while we're in there. This feels easier than I normally do. And no one's tried taking it off yet. That was definitely from the factory. First up are fart filters. These filter the farts. Yeah, just kidding. That's what happens when these go bad, as they naturally do over time since they're ceramic. So every opportunity we get, we replace these with new ones to keep death farts and other DC offset related issues away that lead to roasting your bass speaker and other parts of the amplifier too. Alright, we've got those nice and square on there. Now let's move on to the star of the show, that Schottky diode, dated for 8K. Failing for no reason other than it just wasn't made right. So we'll get that replaced with a new one. Same problem won't happen again. And that should be it. Alright. Meat Man, welcome back. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's not even quite 7 o'clock here yet, but still pretty late for us. I ended up driving like an hour south to pick up an engine for my car. So we're quite a bit later to the stream than usual, and I only had time to pack and ship a few HomePods and adapters today before UPS closed. Oh, I ran into this strange issue when I was putting together a refurbished HomePod for a certain Josh earlier today. Basically, I had over-tightened one of these screws, and what that caused was it caused it to buckle and bend out a little bit, and it was just enough to where the little gap right here leaked a little bit of air whenever the bass speaker was moving around. Another interesting quirk about working on these things. You can't just go around and Hulk every screw tight. The wide TV. No, that doesn't need fixed. It's just a monitor. Well, not just, but it's funny because our boss only got rid of it because they had upgraded to a newer one. And I imagine plenty of people are probably like, what the heck, why didn't my boss sell it or something. Probably isn't worth his time. Which just boggles my mind. Oh. Interesting. So we got it turning on, but it's boot looping. well. This one's going to need a little more work. That we can probably fix with a USB restore. Alright. I don't have my laptop with me right now, so we will try that later. But we got it turning on, we got the maintenance all done, we just got to get the software sorted out now. Let's move on to Mateo. They've also got no power. We'll shoot them a link to watch. And, yeah, you know, that's not the first time that's happened to me. We get one in for no power, we confirm it has no power, we fix it up and get it turning on just for it to boot loop. And, I've ran into that a couple of times before. This is the first time it's happened to me since we've had a software fix for that. You know, a year plus ago, we didn't have a way to restore them, and that sucked when that happened, but not anymore. Let's shoot Mateo a link to watch. Here it is. Another dusty one. All right. No power, no lights. A couple of watts from the wall. That looks like a usual dead diode. Let's crack it open. You ever dropped packages off at USPS, but the tracking days later still says waiting? Yeah, I see that a lot. It's pretty rare with USPS Priority, but for any cheaper service, especially Ground Advantage and Parcel Select and tracked letters, those tend to often not scan or show the first scan for a few days. Heck, I've seen it take actually more than a week for them to scan in. And in some cases, they straight up don't update scans until they're delivered. So, not ideal. Stuff that I drop off. I used to go to USPS and then I'd go to UPS to pick up my UPS packages. But my UPS store handles USPS packages for me. You can just drop them off there and they'll take them in for me. It saves me a trip while I'm out. The only downside is, of course, they're not immediately scanned in when I drop them off at UPS. They tend to not get scanned in there until late at night or early the next morning. it's going to get a lot more hectic here as the holiday season approaches. Way more packages going through. You know, I will say, out of the thousands of HomePods that we've shipped back and forth and fixed and sold and whatnot, we've only ever had, I'll have to say, 2 now went missing. One was about a year ago, and another one went missing just about a month ago, I think. But only 2 instances of anybody ever losing a HomePod, and I think that's pretty decent. Of course, I never know when a tracking number says it's delivered and they say they didn't get it. You never know if they're trying to pull a fast one or not. But that is what insurance is for, and that is what postal inspectors are for. They do not mess around. They'll find that stuff. Or they'll find out what happened to it. Yeah, and the insurance covers anything that happens to it. It gets tricky to prove the value of the first-gen HomePods with insurance claims because they're getting so old. They want to base it off of some really low recent sale off eBay. But they tend to stop arguing with me on an agreed upon value once I mention the fact that the person not only shipped a HomePod, but they paid for a repair service too. So they usually shut up and agree on the value of the HomePod at least. They obviously don't compensate for the money somebody spent on the repair, but you'd be surprised. Most people do not want to sign for them. The people that want to sign for them tend to just have them held at a UPS store or at a USPS office. But most people don't like signatures on their signatures required on delivery because you know, they have to be around when they deliver it, and most people aren't home all day. Some services let you sign for them through the web ahead of time. Some of them don't. I'm the kind of guy that does not like to sign for my stuff. I just drop it off at my porch. I'll deal with the consequences. I'm one of those people. I'm also fortunate enough to be able to work from home quite often, so But these days, I just have everything sent to my UPS mailbox, because it's effectively a street address. I can have anybody ship anything there. Heck, you can have a carrier pigeon drop something off at the UPS store if you want. If it's got my name and number on it, it goes to me. It'll work. And not just for, you know, not giving any rando that wants a HomePod repair my home address. But it's also nice whenever I'm buying stuff. You never know who you're buying stuff from either, so. Ooh, the classic eBay scam. That sucks. I've heard enough of those that, well, I don't even sell on eBay. I don't deal with eBay anymore. I'll buy stuff off eBay, but I don't sell on eBay. I'll say that. When I did sell on eBay, I always took a video of, I would wait until I got to the post office, and I would take a video of the product working or not, putting it in the box, packing it, and then walking in and handing it off and getting the receipt. No room for shenanigans. And the worst experience that I've actually had on eBay, nobody's ever tried to outright scam me, luckily. But actually, this was twice now that this has happened, where I listed something for sale for parts of repair under the for parts of repair category with a, clearly not working title and description. Do not buy this and expect it to work. It needs repair, or use it for parts. And what do people do? They read nothing and they click buy now because it's the cheapest option they could find. And then they complain to me when the thing that they bought is exactly as advertised. And the two examples this has happened for me was a USB DAC and an NVIDIA GTX 1080 Ti hybrid. It's like an EVGA FTW3 edition, like a super insano graphics card. I had bought it hoping that I could fix it. I bought it knowing it was for parts of repair. I didn't have a problem with that. And I wanted to try to fix it. And I couldn't. So I threw it back up for sale with photos of everything I did to it. Someone had bought it. And in the description I said, do not use this. Do not put it in your computer and turn it on. It is severely damaged. And what does the goofball do? They go and they put it in their desktop. And they shoot me a message and they're like, so this graphics card doesn't work, that I bought from you doesn't work, and I think it killed my gaming PC. Soft old me was like, alright, if you send it back in the exact same condition that I sent it to you in, I'll give you a full refund, even though I really didn't need to. But they were just being absolutely irate about their own mistake. I got them to admit that it was apparently their roommate that was using their account and just rushed to order the first 1080 that they could find for the cheapest price and didn't bother reading anything, which is just insane when you're spending $100 or more on something like this. But they basically admitted that they didn't read anything and just bought it out without paying attention. I got it back from them, and of course half the screws were missing. So I just kept it. I kept it and took my losses. And I pretty much stopped selling on eBay since then. And then the fees are obnoxious.
having trouble I'm having trouble.
All right. Let's move on to Doug here. It looks like Doug has no power. Let's see what it does for us here. No power, no lights, no nothing there. We got a couple of watts at the wall. Y'all have seen it enough times. Here we go. That camera is funny. Oh, no, it's not. There we go. Let's get those filters replaced so we can keep that base nice and healthy. Onto that pesky dead diode. Dated for 8K, of course. Atmos sounds better on second gen, hold on. Atmos sounds better on first gen. Lossless sounds better on second gen. I don't have second gens to agree or disagree, but I could guess why that might be true. Probably because the first gen has more speakers, so it's going to be able to give a more spatial sound. It's just simply got more volume. But the second gen, even though it has fewer speakers, the speakers it does have fire directly downward, whereas in the first gen they kind of loop around before they hit the table. So that kind of makes sense. And by that I mean, you see here in the second, or this is the first gen here, and then we got a second gen here. So the first gen, the sound isn't coming straight from the speaker directly out the bottom. The sound has to travel a little bit through some cavities before it comes out the bottom of the HomePod. With the second gen, the tweeters are pointed directly and firing directly out. It's a direct path. So I can believe that could be a reason why Atmos sounds better on a speaker with more speakers, and lossless sounds better on speakers that are more directly firing. And then you've got the bass. The bass isn't gonna, bass is pretty omnidirectional, so it's not so affected by that. You'd be pretty hard pressed to notice a difference in the bass, if you ask me. Aside from it being a difference in how they're being driven, because they are the same bass speaker, but they use different amp chips. But if they're the same bass speaker, they can't be doing much more or less than the one they're based on, right? First gen. Yeah, they definitely do something different with the bass. You can hear they're doing something different. I have a feeling it has nothing to do with the amp, but it's purely tune. It's purely how they tuned it. They must have gone with a different profile for the second gen.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. For more info, check the Home app. I'm having trouble connecting.
Very good, very good. Alright, let's shoot Mario a message. Pull theirs up next here. Alright. If half my repair stream wasn't unboxing stuff. I will take that over somebody sending their HomePod in a plastic bag, though. Jeez. And you think it hasn't happened. Alright. So Mario here has if I'm not mistaken, early onset death farts. I have one second gen, but it's in pieces right now to be used to diagnose and repair other people's second gens that get sent in, but that's my only second gen. I used to have two, and I used to use them as a stereo pair in the living room, but it sounded a little weird with them mixed in with the rest of the first gen HomePods. It didn't sound right. Alright, so we got some fairly unhealthy popping going on inside of there. That tells me that those filters that you see us replacing all the time have gone bad in this. That's why we replace them, to stay ahead of these issues. Hopefully it hasn't roasted the bass speaker. And we just have a little board repair to do. that was kind of bent. Oh, I think we can just rip this off. Heck yeah. No pry needed this time. Yep. Yep. I don't know if you were the same person that brought that up before, with the first gens and second gens canceling their bass out, but thinking back when I did have my stereo pair second gens in the mix, I definitely recall feeling the same way. Wow, they did not have this amp lined up when they screwed it in. Alright. Everything looks good on the amp, surprisingly. The bass speaker looks good and smells good. The date code on our Schottky diode, 52K. Our 10 ohm resistor, very good. Goodness, I think the only thing that this will need are some filters. Let's knock that out. Sorry, I needed my special eyes for those, but we got them all replaced. We do not need to worry about that Schottky diode failing and causing no power, because it's not within the same date range that fails. So that should be it for this one. How often have you found it necessary to replace the woofer? Well, let me glance over at my shelf of dead subwoofer speakers. I'd estimate around, we're looking at about 100 to 200 of them, maybe, about 100-ish. It's not very often. Especially as we proliferated the information about, stop using it if it starts giving you issues. Don't keep using it. That's when things really break. That's when subwoofers get fried. They'll give you signs that they are going to cause problems before they cause more expensive problems. Beautiful. Like the loud popping that this one was doing before, and now we've got that under control. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Yeah, I'd say about 75 to 100 subwoofer speakers we've replaced in our whole time here. So really not too bad, but like I said, it's usually when people put the issues off and ignore it, and it's kind of crazy. People tell me that they'll use their HomePod while it's been death farting for like months at a time. I just can't believe it.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
It's insane.
I'm having trouble.
But this one sounds excellent again. All right, we got our last one here from a fellow Nick. Nick here has no power. Easy peasy. It is. Let's see what it does for us. No lights, no power, no nothing. A couple of watts at the wall. Y'all know what that means. Aaron, welcome, welcome. Oh, you missed a lot, but also not a whole lot. No surprises on our stream here today, the usual repairs. Actually, we did start the stream off with a typical no power like this one, and it developed boot looping after we finished. So we're going to have to try a software restore on that one. But aside from that, it's been a pretty typical stream here. Oh, no. Aaron is referring to a car stereo that they sent in. We haven't gotten to that yet. I'm still catching up on HomePods from 2 days ago. I've been behind. But we wrapped Nick's up here and we should be all caught up. And then tomorrow we should be able to look at that car stereo. So Aaron here sent in quite a nice looking stereo. If I'm not mistaken, it's from the early 2000s, early 2010s. But if I'm not mistaken, they said it turns on and it beeps, and that's about it. Can't get music to come out of it. And if I've been in enough audio equipment, I would say it most likely has a blown cap or two. Maybe a little bit of corrosion in there. And it is old, yeah. But it's around the same age that was around the time I got into car audio. I was huge into it. I got my first car. I had 2 different singled-in radios in my car because I thought I was just so cool. I could switch between whichever one I wanted. I had a Sony Explode and some Kenwood. And I was like, I switched to the Sony Explode for more bass. Gosh, I was a real kid. That was something else. I took the air filter off of my 1997 Nissan Altima because it sounded cool and made it go faster. Less restriction. I was an idiot. I had a Kenwood Exelon that was a single din, but when you turned it on, it like folded out into like a dual din with like the tray kind of half out. Oh, I missed that thing. I want to get my hands on another one. But silly me was like, no one's gonna buy the car if there's the radio in it, and I don't have the money to replace the radio just to keep it. It went with the car. Nowadays, most stereos that come with cars are already pretty decent. Like, I had to upgrade the radio in my wife's 2006 Audi, but her 2015 Volvo, no reason. It's got everything you need, and it sounds great. Now, it's not fancy bells and whistles. It doesn't have a TV built in, a TV screen, but that's the job. Oh boy, do I miss going to Fry's Electronics and messing with the car audio demos. Rest in peace, Fry's. I guess they didn't run their business too well to begin with, so. Alright, we got some fresh filters on there. That bottom one's looking a little wonky. Hold up. Okay. New filters. Let's get that dead diode out of here. As we get older, just a little bass is okay, but we still want more. Freaking well said. True. I haven't ran subs in my cars in so long. I also can't rattle my kids' brains out. Gotta be careful about that. Circuit City, yeah. We had a Circuit City when I lived in Spokane. I remember passing by that place. Never went there. Always wanted to. Oh, Best Buy was another one to go and mess around with the displays. kind of weird going to Best Buy these days. They're usually not that busy. Just feels empty. They're full of stuff, but there's like no one ever there. I mean, what with like free shipping and price matching, what's the point in going in these days? But I like the experience. And I just like to look at all this stuff. I tend to stay away during holidays though, so that might be a different story.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. For more info, I'm having trouble.
I lied. We have one more here, but it's going to be a quick and easy one. Here it is. We've got a lonely little amplifier board that was sent in to us. They got their HomePod apart. They just need help replacing the diode on there, so we're going to knock that out for them and get it right back. Here it is. Let's see. Ooh, we're actually testing something before we fix it. It is dated 46K. It is definitely dead. Alright. Let's give this some new filters first, and then we'll replace that dead diode, and that should be it for this stream. Alright. Got some fancy fresh filters on there. Let's flip it around. Replace that diode. And we'll be done. I do it every time. And we've got power. And we've got a good clean audio signal. Very good. Folks, that's everything all fixed up, except for everything that showed up today. We're only caught up for everything up to yesterday. Geez. Stay tuned for more. There will always be more for as long as I'm alive and they can keep getting fixed and I can keep fixing. I hope you all enjoyed this live stream repair, and I'll catch you in the next one.